Homebrewing has become more popular, I think, because of the availability of the ingredients and the ability for people to learn how to do it. But at the same time, I just think that a wide selection of beers, craft brewing, the number of choices it's all sort of feeding into people getting more interested in different kinds of beers, making their own beer, trying different things. I think it's a little bit less expensive to make beer, so I think some people do it for that reason. It's kind of neat to be able to make your own beer if you do like to drink beer. It's kind of neat to be able to make it. Keep mine pretty simple. I tend to like it just as sort of a craft that I get to make my own beer, and it's something that I enjoy doing. But I know people that have thousands of dollars invested, that they have big rack systems with everything put together, computer-controlled systems to manage the temperatures and the flow of beer and everything else. So I think there's a broad appeal because it's not really technical, so somebody that's not technical gets put off by it. It's not really simple, so somebody that's looking for a more involved hobby grows out of it quickly. So sort of the basic investment is probably $100 to $200. So I heat water up to about 170 degrees, and then I take the water and I pour it into the cooler that was inside and put the grains in there and pour the water over top of it. And you can see some of the darker flecks in, especially that one. Those are like chocolate malts. There's also some rye in here. So it's a mix of different ingredients. The temperature is about 170, but when it mixes with the cooler greens, it drops the temperature to about 155 degrees. It's steeping that much like you'd steep tea. The temperature is critical because at 155 degrees, it's catalyzing some of the sugars that are in the grains into simple sugars that the yeast can consume. 10 minutes when we get that out of there, we're going to drain the water out of there, separate it from the grains, put it back into the pot and start it boiling. It'll boil for about an hour, at which point we'll start adding hops. And that's kind of the end of the process. Once it finishes boiling, I cool it down and I'm done. It ferments at room temperature. So I usually just leave it in my basement in a bucket while it ferments. It ferments for about a week. I have to transfer it to another bucket that helps let some of the sediments run out. It sets for about 2 weeks. It's almost there. We're getting close. When it's done with that 2-week period, I put it into the kegs and I put it into a refrigerator. I always joke with people, I've become a beer snob. When I first started making beer, I liked good beer, but I would just as soon drink a Keystone Light or something. And I think I've gotten to the point now where I just can't stand drinking cheap beer. But yeah, I'll go out to the beer store, and especially some of the beer stores that have better selections, just to try some different stuff. And I really enjoy, if I'm making a stout, I really enjoy going out and getting other stouts to kind of compare what I've made with what the commercial brewers have made. I love the feedback I get when I get to give my friends a gift, and it's something they enjoy. So that's cool. That's good positive feedback for me. It's a boost to my ego when somebody takes one of my beers and says, "Wow, that was really good." So, I could see myself doing it for the rest of my life and just, I have fresh 5 gallons of beer every few weeks. So.